That disappointment existed mostly within me, and I'm sure you're curious as to why I felt that way. I'll be honest, I put a lot of faith in our government, and my support and interest in something is rarely half-hearted. I felt that Trinbagonians were finally going to be served the way they deserve to be. I felt that we would finally be governed by humanitarians rather than politicians. I was wrong. Or was I? Was I wrong to believe in ideals as cliched as they might have been? Soon enough, I found myself back at square one. It was deeper this time around. I had resorted to public rants on social forums. I had reached the epitome of pessimism, then absolutely nothing. Basically, I had given up. I remember receiving a phone call from my mom actually. She was ecstatic, going on about someone she met online. Instinctively, I thought that it was concerning entertainment or something to that effect, because that's what usually piques her interest. She clarified that it was someone who had some involvement in politics. And you could only imagine my skepticism when she mentioned that it was someone who wanted to meet with me eventually. After some thought and 2 failed attempts at meeting up at her house, I figured it wasn't meant to happen. We finally met on the 3rd attempt. Within 2 minutes of having met this man, I was engrossed. I was relieved. My faith hadn't yet completely returned, but it eventually did, tenfold. He shared and supported my advocacy for human rights, particularly sexual orientation, gender identity, and which is ultimately a democratic ideal. I also wanted to take this opportunity to, talk about that a bit, especially as it's such a delicate topic in society. But societal discrimination has become the norm and accepted in this country as far as one's sexual orientation and gender identity is concerned. I think everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves the chance to love and be loved as you would want your brother or sister to be. And I also think ultimately they deserve a fulfilling life and the chance to be able to live that life freely, free of discrimination and judgment in any way or form. So back to my speech. He also understood my passion for animals and their rights, campaigning against animal cruelty in Trinidad. What was reassuring and really stood out about this man was his compassionate, down-to-earth and fearless demeanor. That man, of course, is our political leader, Mr. Harold Lamont Crickey. I started talking about the party with friends and relatives after our meeting, and upon relating to Mr. Lamont Crickey their responses and reactions to hearing about the party for the first time, he suggested that I arrange for them to meet in person. He had no qualms about meeting them all on a personal level, even if it meant on the same day. At no point did it occur to me that I was talking to someone who had aspirations of becoming the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I was conversing with a human being, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what this country has been yearning for a very long time. Of course, he had recognized qualities which I possessed that led him to ask me to join the Democratic Development Party, which I readily accepted, and my experience with the party thus far has proven to be a positive one. We're all here tonight because we want a better quality of life in our country, one that provides greater opportunities for a safe, healthy, and productive future. I'm here because I wholeheartedly support you. I'm here because I, with the help of my fellow members, want to create that future. One where victims of criminal acts find justice, poverty is eliminated, one where the crime rate and the number of murders that go unsolved is vastly reduced, and a society where a diversified transport system facilitates clean, safe, and comprehensive transport any time of day. Transport for our children to get to and from school safely, the elderly and persons with disabilities, easy access to hospitals and healthcare facilities, and of course, the less fortunate would be afforded greater livelihood opportunities. For many of us, our primary means of mobility is public transportation. And just like you, I'm here with a mouthful of disappointments, but also mind brimming with solutions. I'm not here to lay blame or criticize any one politician or government, nor am I here to make promises for which I am capable of fulfilling. I'm here simply because I care and I believe that I can contribute to resetting our great nation. My mother would definitely see the irony in that, because when I was a teen, and of course we've all experienced that period of rebellion and self-awareness, but I don't care was my most abused terminology. Of course, the strict parenting techniques quickly straightened me out, as it was a phrase deemed disrespectful and completely unacceptable in my household. Parents, they play such an important and crucial role in our lives. Our parents are responsible for strengthening our intellectual, emotional, and social development, and we, in turn, instill those qualities in our children. Parenthood in itself brings a lifetime of happiness and fulfillment. I remember seeing fist fights when I was about 6 years old, complete with very adult obscenities, and I stood there thinking to myself, that's exactly who I don't want to be. And that mere realization and ability to think independently gave me a deep sense of pride. And as the years passed, I was able to better understand people, personalities, and situations. I do believe that people grow into their own, but also to a large extent, who we become is dependent on our parents and how we were raised. What I'm ultimately getting at is the old adage that criminals are made, not born. You teach your children by example, both directly and indirectly. You teach them respect, good manners, kindness, and love. So why is it that so many criminals exist in our beloved country? Have we stopped caring? Have they stopped caring? Did they ever? We put faith in people who don't care about us, our children, and our future. This allowed me to understand exactly why a term as trivial and seemingly harmless as "I don't care" was forbidden in my house. What you give is what you get, and I feel that there is no time more opportune than now. Let us take advantage of it and make a difference for our country, for our people, because we deserve it. Again, to elaborate on my advocacy for animal rights in this regard, in this country, from this love and passion stems from my passion and appreciation and love for animals, and I'm urging each and every one of you to reconsider abandoning your pets and mistreating them and, harming them in any way or any form. Before you act on your perception that an animal is just that, I am urging you to think twice. They're not just, animals. They feel, they love, they're loyal to us. So I am, hoping for a country and for people who are humans after all, to treat their pets with the same love and respect that we treat each other with. So that concludes my speech. Thank you.